Hey guys, sorry I'm late. We just the kids are over, so we were just having dinner. Took me a little longer than. How is everybody tonight? Well, I hope that isn't the Rona again. Let's see. Yeah, Bonos, finally I'm here. Ron Ward, what's happening, brother man? Pontiac, Dodge, or Chevy? I'm a Dodge guy. George, what's happening? Patriot Parabellum, what's going on? Danny Boyd, good to see all you guys. It's my Sunday night. It's my Sunday night family. I love this. I got my one family over there, and I got my other family over here. So, how is everybody? How's this week going for you guys? The year started off a little weird, didn't it? You would sure hate to get AIDS again, Kate McQueen. Yeah, it must have been rough the first time around. Ari, what's going on, brother man? Coastal Auto Reaction, how are you? I have meatballs stuck in my teeth. How do you, Danny? Am I familiar with Mastella 69 Camaro from you? No, I'm not. How was DC? It was pretty amazing. You saw me in the riots? You might have. Mopar man, oh, the Godfather. I'll take that. I'll take that. Dodgy PC, I love you too. I love all you guys. I really do. You know, I look forward to like these Sunday night things. You have no idea how much I look forward to this. Wait. Leading up to it, I'm like, I got to talk for 2 or 3 hours. But it's like, oh yeah, but I love this. Do we do any burnouts in DC? No. I did do a burnout in front of the Trade Center, though. If anybody has a picture of that, I did a drag test on a 1987 Lincoln Mark, whatever the hell it was, whatever they called them, with high output 302, and we did a burnout on Wall Street with the Twin Towers in the background. Somebody's got to have a picture of that. My friend with the 71 Charger 440, did I get a G-Tech Pro? What's next with the carbs? He had a grandkid. They're in Florida now. They'll be back. Well, I mean, they should be back soon. But they've been occupied with that for the last couple of weeks. And then weather was crazy here. But he should be back this week. So as soon as he gets back, we'll talk about that later on. Actually, I got a couple of things, a couple of exciting things going on. We've hooked up with this fellow named Shane Polito, who he has a Facebook page called Slant Daily, and he works for TCI. And we're going to be doing something. We're working on stuff with them, including a race series that is going to be sanctioned by the AHRA this year. My friend Dallas, AHRA. If you're not a member, you go there. Do whatever you got to do. Right? Vinny, you're wearing your UTG shirt right now. You rock. I'm wearing my UTG shirt. Greetings from Oh, Eric, what's going on, man? Let's see. Ajax 750 CFM. Can I use a 508 cam on late 360 heads with 188 valves? Yes, you can. It's usually between 550 and 575 lift, where the retainer hits the valve guide. So yeah, you'll be fine at 508. Where's Uncle Kathy? She's with the grandkids and the rest of the family inside. Was that me sitting in Nancy Pelosi's chair? No, it wasn't. John. Oh, these been planning for the next one if Tony will have it. Yeah, of course. But I mean, listen, my home is your home. You come by anytime. I got the TCI. We're getting a converter from TCI. They built one special for us. So I'll find out the details about that tomorrow. Let's see, Eric Miller, Uncle Tony, what should the timing be set if a distributor is wired to full advance? Well, the engines start okay when it's hot with a lot of initial timing. Here's what you do with that. There's two ways to do it. Some people hook up an ignition switch, a kill switch, and they'll crank the motor and then kick the ignition on. So that's one way to keep it from kicking back. The way I've always done it is pump the gas 3-4 times and hold it about a quarter to a halfway down. When you crank it, it should start like on the second revolution and it won't kick back. If it doesn't start right away like that, pump the gas a couple of times again. When the engine is that far advanced, when you've got like 32, 34, 36 degrees advanced in idle, generally speaking, you won't flood it. It doesn't want to flood. So you can just pump, hold it a little bit of way down, crank it, boom, should go right off. I've been doing it like that for 40 something years. Did I ever meet Kitty O'Neill? No, she was really cool, but no, I never met her. No, she was like before my time. She was deaf, Kitty O'Neill. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, she was deaf. Let's see. You missed Mopar Action? Yeah, so do I. It was, well, I mean, not really. I only did the first 3 issues. 4 issues. I did the first 3 or 4 issues, and then I was done. I went funny car racing. Dakota, what's going on? How come Dakota isn't timed out? Guys, you're slipping. 0. John, somebody, he's not timed out. John, you'll have it done midweek. It looks great. Should shift like a switch around 5400. Excellent. The motor is ready to drop in. Tomorrow, I've been very occupied with things not having to do with cars or YouTube or anything like that. So my head just hasn't. There you go. So many times at Dakota. So my head really just hasn't been, in this now. But the motor's done, and tomorrow I'll start cleaning and painting and everything under the hood, so I can just drop that in. And the day after you drop still have to get a dry shift made. They still got to get a dry shift made for it. But thanks, John. You got him. But yeah, the next day we'll have that car running. Tony, why do the newer Chrysler diffs require oil changes every 40,000 versus the older? I have no idea. Light the cigarette. Here, just light the cigarette. There you go. Rich, creamy cigarette goodness. Ajax, thank you. Let's see. Thank you for that information, Uncle Tony. Also, I'm using late 360 heads with a 508 cam and a 60 over 340. Okay, so 4100 bore. Will have any breathing issues not being? Oh no, not at all. You're golden on that. I prefer not to go on those engines. Every Chrysler motor is cast to be in normal service to be bored a maximum of 60 over. So the 400, the 340, you brought it to the maximum bore 4160 over. But that's really pushing it, especially on a 340. So I hope that you at least had the thing sonic checked before you board it that far. Because 340s, I don't like to see it going more than, let's say, 30,000 is about where you want to be with that. But I mean, you should be fine. But in my mind, it's like 4100, a full 4100 on the 340 block. You're pushing it. Chris, did I see your Formula Firebird find? I did not. It's a 69 motor with sonic check. Okay, great. Awesome. Good luck with it, brother man. Danny Boyd, have I ever seen an engine start without the starter when the ignition switch is switched? Yes, I did. Actually, I think I've seen that more than once, but I can remember one specific time. It happened while I was working on what the hell was it? It was like a Ford Aerostar, whatever it was. Whatever I was doing on the thing, I had to bump the key a couple of times, and I bumped it, and then before I could actually engage the key all the way, it just like passed through that starter point. The motor went poof, and it lit. So yeah, I've seen that happen. Is there an easy way to get more at a 170? You mean out of a 170? The 170 is the best of those engines. It, I think we're going to do something specifically on the 170s soon. Yeah, but I don't want to. I don't want to like. We got to do some other types of videos. But yeah, we'll do something with that. The Dougster is here. You know, we're all done fearing, brother man. You emailed me pics. Uncle Kathy, I never see any of that stuff. Uncle Kathy goes through the mail. I'll remind her. 426 Hemi, R.I.P. Sonny. Sonny who? And how did he die? Oh no, turn the light on. Yeah, Katie, yeah. My granddaughter just turned the light off. Drift the 50s. I don't know what you mean by that. Would I suggest Mustango? That's a good name. Would I suggest the same tire pressure method for road racing as in drag racing? I mean, for the footprint? You see, I don't know about side loading. I don't know about, you see, road racing, any type of handling stuff, those are all their own special disciplines. So I don't know. Excuse me, I don't know. In drag racing, you're more concerned with the contact patch, you know, in a straightforward, you know, rolling this way. I don't know if that same methodology would apply to a handling thing. You know, I don't know. Like if I had to guess, I would think that they for handling, you would be not so much concerned with the footprint, you know, like laying flat like that, but with the stiffness of the sidewall. But I don't know. I don't know. Who passed away today? Who passed away? What pistons and rods did they get for the 451? The Mahle pistons and the rods are just regular 383 rods. Any progress on the Miata? No. Oh, Sonny Leonard passed away. Oh shit. Oh, that's terrible. Rest in peace, Sonny. One of the true legends. Very sorry to hear that. Okay. Ron Ward, road racing would typically use much higher tire pressure than drag racing. Yeah, that's what I was assuming. It helps support the sidewall to dissipate heat from the tire. Yeah, see, that's the other thing too, right? Drag racing, you don't really heat to an extent is your friend. I don't think in road racing heat is what you're looking for. Katie, show them your meatball. Come here. Come here. This is Katie. Katie's wearing makeup today. Mommy put makeup on her, and she's eating a meatball. Get out of here so I got my cigarette. Go away. Get lost. Scram! I'm going to call the authorities on you. I'm going to call the authorities on you. All right. Cat! Crystal! Okay, she's coming. There you go. She was just hamming it up.
Yeah. Get out. Get out of here. Come on. Go. You want this open or closed?
Close it.
Close it.
Yeah. She seems to enjoy my company. I enjoy hers. I have the two most beautiful grandkids. I mean, and I'm not just saying it because they're mine. I don't know where they look at me. I don't know where they came from. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea where they came from. They're just angelic beauties. It's funny, John. Yeah, I do sound like a Karen, right? Well, maybe I have some Karen in me. Let's see, Chris Scaduto. I haven't been able to find if it's possible you can widen an 8.8 rear end. I imagine if you had two you could widen them. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be a problem. Problem with finding axles, you have to have axles custom made for an application like that. And God only knows what that's going to go for. You have twin granddaughters. Isn't that a trip? Uncle Karen. I'll take that. Let's see. Chad, what is the most likely reason for drum brakes to fail after a car sits for a year? More than likely, it had some moisture in there, and the wheel cylinder, when they sit for any amount of time, the moisture gathers in the wheel cylinder and it rusts. 525 lift cam on a stock 318, would it work? It should work. Generally, you can go to 550, 575 before you hit the valve guide. 525 is like really pushing it, but it should work. I mean, obviously, mock it together first. You know what I'm saying? But before you actually turn the key, stick the cam in there and rotate it. Make sure you got, it's not going to hit. If it does, then you got to pull the head off, take the valves out, and just grind the top of the valve guide. I'm going to do a video on this tomorrow. I'm going to do a video on this. Just grind the top of the valve guides so you've got some extra space. Olive, what's going on? Okay. I don't know if you would know this, but can you take off material from inside a 302, 308 head? Yes, you can. On the large pushrod holes, and if so, how much do you think? A couple of different ways you could solve this issue. If it's a flat tappet cam you're using, you can tube those holes because you don't need that big area. You could also tube them. I mean, let's say you wanted to get the full width of the port, right? You could also tube them and then grind. I'll do this video too. Like for instance, on an LA engine, if you're gonna put a roller cam in an LA engine, or LA heads, right? The original early LA heads, you have to oblong that pushrod hole, otherwise the pushrod binds up against it. So you could, on the 302, 308 head, you could tube those holes and then grind them the oblong for your pushrod clearance. Excuse me. Sammy Kinman, I missed all your message. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Lucas Crockett, how many miles do you like to put on a fresh roller cam rebuild motor before the first oil change? It depends on the rings. If you're using like a cast ring, 500 miles, but only because there's all that fresh material is in the pan. 500, 1,000 miles like that. If it's a moly ring, go a couple thousand miles. Or a stainless ring, not just moly, stainless. Basically, anything with that takes a rough bore finish, like a cast ring, you want to change the oil right away. Because like I said, all that material is coming off the rings, all that material is coming off the cylinder walls until everything seats and finds a happy home. So that loads up the oil with all of those, that white powdery stuff, that white clay-like stuff that you'll find at the bottom of oil pans. But like I said, if it's like a stainless ring, you won't have that problem, and a fine bore, you won't have that problem at all. You love Sobering Restoration Services, Horsepower Division. That's a great name, man. I bet you got a kick-ass channel. Love my chicken burnout for the 2020 challenge. Did you happen to see ours? We were called up by Mortsky Repair. No, I did not. I'm going to be honest, guys. I've been occupied with other things, non-automotive related for a couple of months now. So it's like I haven't really been paying attention or staying on top of things the way I should. Can you flip the pistons on the 331 Hemi? Those are flat top pistons, and if they have an offset, yeah, absolutely. Those early Hemi pistons, the 331s, 330, they should have the higher compression pistons. Wait, the low compression piston is a total flat top. The higher compression piston has valve relief, so no, you can't. I answered that question too soon. On an early Hemi motor, no, you can't. The pistons have a valve relief, so you can't flip them around. Vince, what's going on? Ryan S., you need my opinion on something. Please, what do you need? What could you use my opinion on, my friend? Joshua Hayes, how do I figure out what carb kit to get? I don't know what carburetor you're working with, but they'll have a list number on them. So just find the list number, Google the list number, and you'll get. Okay, Ryan, you just got a 73 Coronet looking for around 450 horsepower. Should I build like my other cars, trucks, 360, or build something else? I've built more than a few First Dakotas with 360s, but looking for all options. No, that's your best option. If it's an engine that you know and you've got the parts for it and you've got the experience with it, you know you can get away with what you can't. No, the 360 is perfect. You know, and it doesn't take a lot to get 450 horsepower out of it. Your friend Green 71 Charger 440 was due a G. Yes, Sammy Kimmon. He had a grandkid. They're in Florida. They've been in Florida for a couple of weeks now. So when they come back, we'll do something with that. Let's see. Vince, yeah, I like shooting the shit about cars too. It's a nice relief from the rest of the world, right? Everett, I can't even pronounce the name. Maui Man. You want to install a 360? That car needs a big block. I mean, just because, you know what I'm saying? Noah, thank you very much. I'm doing very well, brother. Thank you. And like I said, we have a lot of very interesting things going on. I was on the road on Wednesday, so we didn't do the live with Dallas. But this coming Wednesday night, we're going to do a carburetor thing with him, so that'll be interesting. And also, we've got some stuff going on with TCI. So and a new class, a racing class, not having nothing to do with that video that we did about that no modification class, but there's going to be a new racing series that we're definitely going to be involved with. So we'll be talking about all this stuff next week. Things will be a little clearer. Christian C. Got a low compression, got a 340 low compression. I am installing a whiplash cam. Have a choice between the X heads ported with 202 160 and a regular set with 188 160. What do I recommend for best flow? Mid-end torque, the 188s are fine. The 188s are fine. Ali the Retro Kid, Uncle Tony, my detuned 360 is running cold. Even after I put in a new thermostat, the temp never goes past 160. Are you sure the thermostat is working right? Ram truck, where does my heat come from on an Edelbrock intake? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay. Sasuk, 25. Where were you from? I remember you saying something about New York or Massachusetts. Why'd you end up leaving? New York City. I was born and raised in New York City, and I left there 18 years ago. I never looked back because it wasn't the New York City I grew up in. You could see back. I could see even back then. The handwriting was on the wall that the city was over. No, you can't be in here now. I'm smoking. Turbochargers are great space heaters. Which port to choose? On an Edelbrock intake. I'm still not sure what you're talking about. You're talking about the vacuum for the heater controls? The vacuum for the heater control should be on non-ported. Is Uncle Crystal my daughter or daughter-in-law? She's my daughter-in-law. Puglisi speech up. New York City and what it used to be, brother. Missed the 80s. So do I. The 80s and the 70s. The 70s in New York, it was the best place in the world to be. Katie, you can't be in here. But yeah, it was in the 90s. It started to change, and towards the end of the 90s, 2000, it was over. And so we came down to Tennessee and never looked back. And honestly, Nashville. If you remember what New York City was like in the 1970s, 1980s, come to Nashville because it's exactly that. Where I live, my area is like Staten Island in the 70s. Oh shit, Crystal! You only listen to me when I threaten you with your mom. Update on the 360 daily driver Dart. What update? She gets driven daily. It's Kathy's everyday car. 426, but she left Staten Island in 99 and never looked back. There you go. What is a stock-ish lift? What is a stock-ish lift and duration of a 1987 318 truck motor? They were all under 400 lift. All of the oh, wait a minute. Was it push rod? What year was that now? '87 truck motor. It's right around 400 left. Beaumont resident, what paint gun brand do you use for that paint job? Okay, so I bought one of these $17 Harbor Freight. Oh, I swear to God, this is crazy, right? I bought one of these $17 Harbor Freight paint, spray guns, right? Because I figured, well, let's just try it. So I watched a few videos, and so people, professionals, were working with it, and I said, and they were comparing it. I says, it's not bad, right? So I figured, well, for 17 bucks, I'll give it a shot. So I bought it and I did my paint jobs, and they're mediocre, you know what I mean? But they're my first, and I'll do better as I go along. So last night I'm watching Full Custom Garage, right? They had an episode they shot 2 years ago where Ian is building a dune buggy, a sand buggy, right? Which is a very cool vehicle he's building. And guess what he's spraying it with? The same exact $17 Harbor Freight gun. So I didn't feel like such a buffoon. Yeah, if it's good enough for Ian Russell, it's good enough for me. Let's see. Oh, hang on, I'll be right back. Yeah, baby. Well, yes. All right, no, everybody out. Come on. I'm online here. Come on. Sorry, guys. Okay, list your daily driver. Yeah, 0. That's a great idea. let's see what everybody's driving here is a daily. Karen called the authorities. Yeah, I called the authorities. What is the company and the paint I use on the green dart? It's called Restoration Shop. Just Google Restoration Shop paints, and it's a T something TGI Global. I can't remember, but just Google Restoration Shop paints and the single stage paints, the list of them, and it'll come up there. What did I get the cops called on me for? Lately, nothing. Okay, so what we got? We got, oh, all right, so JW's got a set, okay. John Shelley's got a 73 Valiant four-door stock base model 198. Excellent. That does a perfect daily driver. Yeah, it was British Racing Green. And it's a TCI Global, whatever it is, but I'm telling you, just Google Restoration Shop single stage paints. It's a beautiful color. I mean, it's really beautiful. I wish somebody who knew how to paint laid it on, because like the areas where I accidentally got it good, it's like a jewel. It's like it's beautiful. So yeah, like no question about it. I'm gonna reshoot it because all I have to do is just give it a scuff. And there's a couple of small areas that I missed. You know, the bodywork was. There's a couple of small dings and whatnot. So in the spring, when the weather turns, all you really have to do is just scuff it, fill a couple of small little things, and I'm going to reshoot it again because I really want a glass-like finish. So I'm going to try it again in the spring. Ever rode a modern four-stroke dirt bike before? Yeah, when they first came out in 98, 99, the Honda. I forgot what the hell they called it, but I rode that. It was cool. You know, I had Kawasaki two-strokes at the time, and that's what I was used to. You know, I remember the torque was really surprising. You know, because again, you're used to a two-stroke, and it's like, you know, you gotta make the thing sing before it actually makes power. But yeah, the four-stroke was cool. It just didn't fit. It didn't fit my riding style. My riding style didn't match because I only rode it the one time. So I remember it wasn't the right fit for me, but I would have grown into it. Thank you. Another $5 towards the Hell Crate. Also, some of your Black Charger. I'm only a few hours away. None of my cars are for sale. None of my cars are for sale. If you see me sell my cars, it means I'm in trouble. Any place for me bike? No, just a pit bike. Okay, Project Thunderbird. A friend of ours who's a mechanic said to ditch our 74 4MV for an Edelbrock. If the one on my 69 Tornado is bad. Oh, okay. It's rebuilt, but would be better to get another one or an Edelbrock. The Edelbrock's an easy carb to work with, you know. The Edelbrock's an easy carb to work with. Unless you're a stickler for, you know, you're a purist and you're looking for everything right under the hood the way it's supposed to be, I would throw a motor carburetor on it. Why is my Turbo Hydromatic 350 dipstick clean? Clean when car is running and full after sitting for 2 days. Because the oil that gets pumped up into the transmission through all the passages and everything drains back down into the pan over time. Christian C, $5. Thank you, sir. Thumbs up for the DC trip. Wish I was there. There were a lot of people there. There were easily over 1 million people. What's my take on okay, yeah, I don't know. Maple Grove, there've been rumors of Maple Grove being up for sale and being closed down since the 80s, you know. I remember a lot of just, this will be the last season at Maple Grove, you know, it's still there on. As far as Atlanta, I don't know. You love Quadra If you love Quadra you want to tune in on Wednesday night because Dallas is going to do Dallas knows Quadra. I mean, he knows those covers like the back of his hand, all the little tricks and details and stuff like that. So you definitely want to tune in to our Wednesday Night Live this Wednesday because Dallas is going to go through the Quadra, and then we're going to do a side-by-side comparison between the Quadra and the Thermoquad. NHRA owns Atlanta and it's for sale, 11 million. NHRA is circling the bowl, I mean, as fast as they possibly can. So I can see them selling off whatever assets they can to stay afloat. What do I think of people breaking into the Capitol? I'd rather not get into that. What are the chances of us followers seeing you at Carlisle or the Nats? I would have gone to Carlisle if it wasn't for the mask thing, and the same thing with the Nats. If there's any type of mask mandates or anything like that, I'm not going. I need windshield trim clips for you. 72 Valiant front and rear online stores give me different for front and back, but don't look right. I usually get them from the glass place. I've got a glass place here, and they have all those different trim clips. I couldn't tell you where to get them online. Ever play with Predator carburetors? No, but I tuned the funny car for the guy who owned Predator. John Wilburn had a mask hole fuss at Harbor Freight this morning. Really? What's going on, Jason? Willie Stump Creek, you going get on some more Pontiac stuff. I love Pontiacs, bro. I mean, I honestly do. If there was anything Pontiac going on around me, and if I come across anything cool Pontiac, trust me, I will be there. Your friend's Green 70 Challenger RT, how fast do I think it is in the quarter mile? I'd say it's probably a mid 14-second car. Mike Contrell, you just subscribed today. Welcome to the family. Toyota 3TC Hemi head. Any info? You know something? I'm not familiar. I'm not very familiar with the Toyota engine nomenclature. I do know that the limousine motor that they use is a direct copy of the Dodge Ram Hemi from 1958. I don't know about the rest of them. The way they number them. I did at one point when I was a regular mechanic and those cars were in regular service, but I don't have anything particular on that. Edwards Garage subscribed last week. Welcome, my brother. D&D Speed Shop. What's happening? You guys don't know D&D Speed Shop, one of the coolest channels on YouTube. Definitely go over there and check them out. They're awesome people. You can tell, you can tell people just have good energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it comes across and it's like, you watch them, like, these are nice fucking people. Like, they don't play nice. They really are genuinely nice people. D&D Speed Shop. Taylor Hartman. You have a 5933 block that originally had the longer crankshaft. Well, I have any issues putting in the Leader 383 short crank? You had an RB 383. Yes, you would definitely have you could put a 440 crank in there. You could put a 413 or 440 crank in there. Pick one, 65 Cobra, Superbird, GT40, 64 Chevy Cheetah. The Cobra. I would take the Cobra. Do I need a D10 cable? Turbo Hydro 350, yes. Let's see. Yeah, those 3-3 RBs are rare. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a link. Fubar just put up a link to D&D Speed Shops merch. Go over there, buy some stuff, support their channel. Okay, UT, looking forward to the Quadrajet discussion on Wednesday. Had a question after working on mine. Does the fast idle cam disengage with gravity? Yes, it does. If so, can you ensure that it works reliably? Just keep it lubricated and just make sure, put it through its motions and just make sure it free falls. When it's not being loaded, it's not being pulled up by the choke, just make sure that it free falls. If it free falls, you're good to go. That was the common idle pull or fast idle cams. Even today on the Edelbrox, they're just the gravity, they just drop off. What's the best way to find a good machine shop? Word of mouth. Word of mouth is your best way. Sometimes on the UTG Live, I feel like I'm looking into a future mirror. Bro, I hope your life goes as good as mine, and I think that it will. No question about it. Russell Finch, Bad Tree Productions, and Scott Speed Shop are great channels too. Yes, they are. And again, as always, whenever we do one of these lives, if you have a channel that you want to promote, right, this is the place to do it. Drop a link to your channel, tell people what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And by all means, use this forum to further your reach. I'm not only okay with that, I want you to do that. So please, by all means. Unfinished project, Plan Z. Do we need Royal Purple break-in oil? For a roller cam, no. For a flat top, it's a good idea. Some zinc or a heavy zinc oil is a necessity for break-in oil on a flat top. But if it's a roller, no, you don't. What does LL stamped on a 66 383 block mean? Nothing that I'm aware of. There's a lot of foundry marks and stuff like that are cast into these blocks that really don't mean anything to anybody who wasn't there during their production. So for whatever reason, so it could have to do with which core boxes they used. It could be which shift but LL has no specific meaning. Drag racing. Vinny, look, $5. Thank you, sir. Drag racing on Hollies. Power valve delete and jet up on the mains or keep it. A lot of people delete the power valve because they're afraid of like a misfire will rupture the diaphragm. But honestly, I mean, you could delete it to simplify things. But if it's a drag car, you're either at idle or wide open throttle. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. What's the fastest quarter mile time I've ever run? 1580. The fastest I've ever gone is 1580. And I don't want to go any faster than that. No, I'm not a daredevil. UTG, I'm having problems finding terminals. Lead battery terminals? because I can't find lead battery terminals. 2 of my cars need battery terminals in the worst possible way. Like they're just, they're sloppy and they're gone, and I've cleaned them and everything to the point that they just wore out. I can't get lead battery terminals. Last week, nobody's got any lead battery terminals. I have no idea what's going on with that, why there's a lead battery terminal shortage. But yeah, I need battery terminals. Do you need a charcoal canister? No, you don't. Does Battle Rocket have a return style fuel system? No, it doesn't. Cold War motors? Yeah, absolutely. It's a great channel. Ram truck, do you need a charcoal canister on the old 307? No, you don't. Let's see. Any real world power loss in using Chevy grind cams on a Mopar, as Chevys have the small diameter lifter? Yes, but I mean, that was what you're talking about there. It was a common thing back in the day, back in the 60s and the 70s. And that was one, okay, the purple shaft cam that everybody was so, right? They marketed those, the purple shaft cams based on the fact that they were designed and ground specifically for the Chrysler lifter diameter. The other manufacturers, the Chrysler was such a small part of the market that all of their profiles were based on the Chevy diameter. But that's a thing of the past. Nowadays, every single manufacturer out there, if they offer a Chrysler grind, it's intended for the Chrysler diameter lifter. Horsepower guess on Battle Rocket? Yes, I could guess at it. I must have gone faster than 15 back in the day. Now, were you crazy? I'm still here. I'm still able to talk to you guys. No, I didn't go faster. You go faster than, let me tell you something, you go faster than like a mid 15. The G forces push your brain back so hard that your eye, it does all kinds of brain damage to you. And so that's why I won't go that fast. Sorry. Air cleaner breather tops, a gimmick or good idea? Air cleaner breather tops. I don't know what that is. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they're okay, I guess. I mean, I think a normal breather lets enough air pass through, into the engine that it's. Can I do a video on how to prevent classic cars catching on fire because of electrical problems and what to look for? I did actually. I did a video on fusible links. Ethan Manley, we all know that UC doesn't need more brain damage. You're so right. I have a lot of brain damage. Thrash metal and Funrest. You ran a 1353 in your Firebird. I don't know why anybody would ever want to go that fast, honestly. At 1565, you nearly passed out? Right. I see. I told you. You too, Ari? Yeah. What happened to all of the Battle Rocket videos? Did I delete them or did the algorithm take them away from? I deleted them. And there were reasons for that. You ran 1353 at 104 on the Strudden snow tires I got for $10 each and threw the mufflers. Man, going on, did the paint on your hood blister? Like from the heat of the air passing. I don't know. Zip ties. What's going on, brother, man? I hope you're that chicken that kicked ass with the brown. She's out in the backyard, man. She's out in the backyard. Oh, we ate that chicken? Oh no, man. Sure, I love my chickens. They follow me around, they jump up on you, they peck you, you know. I love my chickens. I couldn't eat them. You say I need to reload or upload or reshoot how to do a bitch and burnout. It's still on there. That's still on there. Zip ties is fucking mint. Mint. Do the chickens get along with the soda? Yeah, they all get along. They're great. Have I heard of the RB383? Yeah, it was 2-year only motor. There was also a 350 big block, 1 year only, 1958. Yes, I just eat their babies. Are Gilman pulley any good? I don't know what a Gilman pulley is. Tony, do I need emission hoses for a late 70s small block Chevy 350? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. It depends where you are. Do you have to pass a visual test? You know, in California, people got to pass visual tests and stuff like that. I don't know. What do I think is a better motor that you have built, or Slave Lake's piss poor old 7.3? Oh, Slave Lake's got it. Slave Lake is the ultimate vehicle. I mean, Slave Lake is mankind's greatest mechanical achievement. So nothing else compares. When am I going to do a video on my friend's green 70 Challenger RT? We'll get together. We'll get together eventually. It's winter, man. There's very little going on out there right now. It's cold. Ran a 1580 in the Texas Mile. Oh, I would never go that far. Does it matter if you weld inner or outer advanced slots? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. When you weld, if you're gonna lock out your advance, and you can't buy just a lockout plate, so a lot of distributors don't have them, not available, or like on a Chrysler distributor, there's no room for a lockout plate. If you're gonna weld the advance weights, weld them in the all the way out position. Take the springs off first, and when you weld them, do them in the all the way out position. And the reason for that is because the rotor is phased to the distributor cap optimally when the weights are all the way out. If you weld them with the weights all the way in, the rotor is not quite in line with the post on the distributor cap. You follow? How cold does it normally get in TN in the winter? Usually it'll be like in the 30s and the 20s. Like right now it's in the 30s. It's been in the 20s and 30s. It'll get down even colder than that. In fact, today I wanted to spend some time. I've actually wanted to do some short times out in front of the shop. The ground is just frozen. Like the ground is cold. Like the asphalt is like just slick. There's nothing you can do with it. Even when the air temperature will go up into the 40s, the pavement is cold. What's the best year for the 360 LA block? The earliest years, the 71, 72, and I think maybe 73 are built on 340 cores. So you can actually go a full 100 over on those early 360 blocks. Steve Kendra, love your newer videos on the 318. Love that motor. I hope you get a 73 satellite soon. Yeah, I have a 73 Roadrunner. I love that car. It took a while for it to grow on me. Like I never liked those cars. For years I didn't like them, and then I picked that one up, and I got it for a slung, and it took a little while for it to grow on me. But yeah, actually it did. Those cars look best without stripes and without like trim. You know, like they put like wheel trim on them, and they put like the side trim. The 73 Plymouth B-bodies, 73, 74 Plymouth B-bodies, if you leave all of the gingerbread and the stripes off of them, are beautiful cars. When you put the stripes on them, it changes the kind of like the aesthetic of it, and they don't look right. So yeah, like leave the chrome and leave the stripes off of the thing. Deborah Podgruski, what are you thanking me for, Deborah? Zach, thank you so much, sir. Friend of yours has recommended me to keep my 77 third number 351 Windsor 2-barrel until I port the heads and replace the camshaft. Do you agree? Yes. Do it all in one shot. Do it all in one shot. Why do double the work? Any particular reason you're welding the Gambler Valiant to its frame? Seems like it would be easier to mount it on the frame. It would be easier to mount it on the frame, but I want something that's extremely rigid. I want the only movement in that whole vehicle to be the suspension itself. Also, it would sit too high. See, by welding it to the frame instead of, you ever see like people do that? They'll take a car and they'll mount it up on a truck frame, and it doesn't look right. It just sits too high. It's awkward. And I didn't want that. I wanted to make sure it had that. I wanted it to look like a Jeep, but in a Valiant. You know what I'm saying? So if I had left the floor pan on the car and bolted it to the frame, it would sit about 3-4 inches higher than it does right now, and it made the difference. By welding the body to the frame, I was able to drop it down to where it's got that tough look. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like a backyard, you know. How you doing, Brad? Okay. What about the Plymouth Caravelle that was sold in Canada? They sold them here in this country too. What's the craziest motorcycle accident I ever had? I've had a bunch of them. The worst one I had was I bent a fucking Oldsmobile into a U with my right leg. The Gambler Valiant looks better. Yeah, I know. I love it. David, what's good? What's good? It's all good, brother, man. Okay, Sammy Kimmin, I have a question. I have a 70 Challenger RT 426 ME 4-speed sunroof. This is my question. Can I turn the pistons around? No, you can't. Sit, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you sending me a lot of money, brother, man? Did I see dipshits in Dunlop 7.3 with a blow on it? No, I didn't. But why are you sending me? I got to send that money back to you. I'm not taking that from you. Thank you, though. Let's see. Yeah, Jason, I love it too. We're gonna get right back to work on that. Like I said, it's been cold and it's been raining, and I have no indoor space to work on it. So it's just sitting on the side for right now. As soon as the weather breaks, I'm all over that thing. What's the news on the Miata? Nothing on the Miata until the Dart that's in there now is finished and running. As soon as the Dart is together and running, I'm going to bring the Miata in. You shucked corn for that cash, man. That's awesome. Thank you. But I'm going to send it back to you. Zipta should do lives. What are the plans for the Miata? My plans keep changing with it, but I keep going back to an idea, and it was something that came from a viewer. So I may do something. I'm torn between just getting it running with the engine that's in it and then doing a body and paint, because I have a specific look for the car I have in mind, and again, handling is the main priority. I want to do autocross, try autocross. but I keep having this idea that's really fucking kinky about something to do with the drive fin in that car. And I keep saying, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. But I keep going back to it, and it's not what you think it is. Cold sucks going through wrenching withdrawals. I'm wrenching, but I'm doing it inside, and I got no room to do it outside. Keep his 50 and get another tire fish ready to fry. Thank you, John. Have I mentioned how much I appreciate you people? I mean, seriously, I really, really do. I'm serious. I am the luckiest guy in the world to have the job that I currently have, and to have you guys. I am absolutely the luckiest guy in the world. There's no question about it. U.S. dollar is probably going to drop after the commies take over the next few weeks. Commies are not taking over, brother man. There's news coming, like now, right? No, no rotary, no rotary. Slash misfit. Yes, you should definitely put a slant six in the Miata. I know, right? I know. I keep going back to that. I said somebody mentioned it. Somebody said it right. And they put a slant six, and I'm like, the slant six isn't going to make any more power than the motor that's in there now, and it's going to be a packaging problem, with lengthwise. And I keep going, no, fuck it, no, I'm not going to do that. And then this morning I woke up, right? I woke up and I'm like, I gotta put a slant in the fucking Miata. I got, I'll call it the Moyata. God, but don't quote me on that, because I may change my mind again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, don't quote me on that. But I mean, like, would that be kinky or what? What do I think about using green axle bearings in 8 3/4 clip streetcar? Durable, yes or no? Yes, absolutely. Have you ever de-stroked a 400? No. You mean a 400 Chevy, or you put the 350 crank in the 400 Chevy and make a 377? That was a very common thing for years, but no, I never did it. When am I going to have the Slant 6 car done? Within the next like 2 weeks, it'll be running. And then when the weather breaks, I'm going to paint it. All aluminum 215 from the Miata. I thought about that too. Did I ever run a Predator carburetor? No, I never ran a Predator carburetor, but I did tune funny car for the guy who owned Predator carburetor. And I got him qualified at the only national event he ever qualified for in his entire life. And we beat Dale Creasy in the first round. And Dale passed away last week. Have I ever been into Keith Black parts or engines, and did you like them if you did? Yeah, absolutely. I always preferred the KB stuff. We were running, oh God, Jesus. We were running KB block number, what was the number? It was like number like 265, whatever it was, up until like 1990. It was a block that had been cast in 1973, and we were running this thing in like 1990. So yeah, I'm a big believer in KB stuff. Could a 318 really fit in a Miata? Yeah, actually it could. Why did they have different lug bolt patterns on 72 Dusters? 73. The Slant 6 cars, the drum brake cars had 4-inch bolt circle like all of the earlier A bodies, and the disc brake cars had 4.5-inch bolt circle like the D bodies. Have I ever built a 440 stroke to 512? No, I have not. I have not. Chris Greenaway, I have a challenge for you. Must paint it black so we can see what's wrong with the paint. Deal or no deal? No deal. No deal. First of all, I tell you honestly, I'm being completely sincere. Ryan, thank you, sir. I don't want everybody to know the Miata. I have one Miata, and I'm going to do something cool with it. Don't know what it is exactly yet, but thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Black car, no. Even if I had the magical body skills that it takes to make a perfect black paint job, I wouldn't want it because I've had black cars. My Mustang was black. My 5-liter Mustang was black, and I mean, I stressed constantly. It was always dirty. It was like anything, any little speck of anything showed up, and it was like right. No, if I had the skills and the talent to make a nice, beautiful black paint job, I wouldn't want it. Do I have video of your old dragster days? There's a VHS tape. We got a VHS tape. We haven't transferred it yet, but there's the very first time I ran my fuel altered at Atco. We have that on video, but I never had. I don't know where the tape is. It's someplace in this house, maybe in the attic or one of the closets, and we never converted it to like a digital format. But I should do that at some point. I don't have a VHS player. Where's the rest of the UTG gang tonight? Uncle Kathy is with Crystal, and they've got the kids, and they're doing a family thing in there, and they're good. You have 2 black cars. Springtime is the worst. Forget about springtime. You go through a puddle. Just go through a fucking puddle, and it's like your whole day's ruined. No more black cars for me ever. Murder black. I don't like murder color. I'm more of a 60s, 70s paint. I like bright, vibrant colors. I think a car should look like a toy. You know what I'm saying? It should look like a toy. So I like bright colors up inside and out. You know what I mean? What makes the 727 a great trans? It'll go quicker than 1580, which is as far as I'm willing to go. The Charger's flat black. It's black primer, right? That's it'll be a different color when we're done with it. Do I like AMCs? Yes, I do. I would if I 426 Richard. If I had a 1970 anything, it would be Panther Pink. I don't own anything from 1970. Am I going to run Plane Z in Mexico with the G-Tech? No, it's not streetable at all. I would have to trailer it, which is like the reason why we're not going to bring bottom on it, because it's not really streetable right now. I got to put plates on it and all the other shit. But no, the Plan Z especially, I would have to trailer it there, and no, we won't be running that one in Mexico. We can make short runs, we can make short times, which is what I'm really concerned with, because that's the trick. That's the heart of it. So we can do 60s and 330s, and we can do that in front of the shop. That's not a problem. But no, we won't be running either of those cars in Mexico. I wouldn't run anything fast in Mexico. When I say fast, I mean quicker than like a daily driver type of thing. A 15-second car, 14-second car is fine. Do I know anything about the 6.1 Hemi? Very little. How far off can the cam bearing holes be from the holes in the block? Not very. I've seen them factory installed off a bit. What you can do, right? If they're off, if they're off enough that you could see that they're off, get a long drill bit and go through the main the main saddle. Block's upside down, cap is off, crank is out, right? You see the oil hole there. Get a long drill bit and go straight through and make sure that cam bearing hole is completely enlarged. Plans he would need a trans-cooler to run Mexico. Yeah. No, that car has no lights. No, I mean, like it has nothing. It's not even remotely streetable. So no, definitely not. And like I said, the Mexican authorities, right, watch our. This is something I got to stress to you guys. Okay, so because you got to understand something, right? The Mexican authorities watch our channel, right? I know this for a fact because I'm friends with many of the Mexican police, right? So the things that we do are okay with the Mexican police. I have a lot of respect for the Mexican police force. And so I would never push things, right, to where the Mexican police might frown on our activities. Does that make any sense? So that's why you won't see us do certain things. Oh, I'm sorry. Ben Treese, back up to you. You still have not answered my question. What is my opinion of the Ford EcoBoost four-cylinder turbocharged engine and four-cylinder motor? They run great. I mean, what my opinion of them? I mean, it's an engineering. Honestly, it's an engineering marvel, but it's an extremely good package. I mean, what's my opinion of them? They're good. Austin, would I put a blower on bottle? No, no. If the right deal show up my door, if I wanted a blower, I'd have a blower. I mean, it's I'd order a blower. I'd call Dyers and say, send me a blower. I don't want a blower yet. The Charger slip and slide. Oh, those kids! I know. Please, I know. I know. Ari feels like he'd be a good Mexican, so apparently since you don't know what it means to be American anymore. Chill, relax. You're gonna know what you're gonna know what it is to be an American in just a very short time. Chris Greenway, I agree. I hate black paint. Here's the swirls and marks showed, but I love black paint. There's nothing more beautiful than a black car. I got a perfect, mile deep black paint job. I love it. I don't want to own it. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be somebody else's thing. Mike Jesse, can I adopt you? You work hard and be good. You don't want to work for me. I'm a miserable bastard. Who I am here and who I am making videos is not who I am when I'm working on stuff. So you don't want to work for me. Trust me. I wouldn't want to work for me. I mean, and see, I'm gonna be completely. I'm as honest as I could possibly be. Right? When I'm the way I am when I'm working, I don't like myself. It's like, does that make any sense? You know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't want to be around me if I'm working. When I'm working, not quite when shooting videos. That's a little bit different. But if I'm like on task, you know what I mean? Where I'm assembling something or I'm pulling a motor or doing whatever that kind of work, I don't want to be around me. So it's you know. What's the fastest I've been in a quarter mile? 1580 and 89 miles an hour. It was fucking fast. Unfinished project. You just across the line from Mexico. You wouldn't believe some of the crates that run there. I'm sure. A Detroit diesel 600 blower is not forced induction. It wouldn't work. It only keeps the air flowing through the engine. Try again. On a diesel engine, yeah, but on a 671. But we ran 671s and 871s on the fuel cars. No, trust me, they move air. The way that they're set up and the way that they're spun on a diesel motor. Yeah, you're right. It's a vent, right? That's all it's doing. It's just keeping air moving through the motor. But no, when you overdrive them, you strip them Teflon, Nylotron, and tight clearances and spin them 20, 30 over. No, they move a lot of air. Zip Ties put me on his Instagram story. Oh, that's nice of him. Do I have a video? Aaron fixes everything. Really, everything? That's impressive. Do you have a video on finding axle ratio? My girlfriend doesn't believe me about putting marks on the shaft and turning the tires. Yeah. Let's see. You gotta excuse me. I gotta catch up now. Let's see. Do you know the old cartoon Megas XLR? They use a 70 CUDA as the head of a robot. No, I didn't know about that. Tony, what's my persona? Honey Badger. How about them guesses? How about them? Uh-oh, did we freeze? There we go. Pre-58 poly Hemi. There's no such thing as a poly Hemi. It's either a poly or a Hemi. Chrysler in the day they didn't call things Hemi or poly back then. It was either a single rocket shaft engine, which was a poly, or a double rocket shaft Hemi, or a double rocket shaft engine, which was a Hemi. Have I ever talked to Nick's Garage? Yeah, of course. Nick hops on here. I'm surprised he hasn't been. He usually drops in on our Sunday Night Lives. Is a double pump car better than a single pump? Depends on the application. In a drag-oriented application, the double pumper is a better carburetor. For a street engine, I prefer the vacuum carburetor, especially with automatic. The vacuum carburetor, because it allows the engine to choose how much fuel it needs, how much air it's going to pull. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Stick car, drag only car, double pumper. Automatic car, street and strip type of thing, single pump, vacuum secondary. Have you ever damaged a Sprague during a burnout? Yes. Yes, more than once. Have I ever personally spit an axle, and if so, how you manage it? I did. This last August, August, I split one right literally on the starting line with bottle rocket. I actually spit the wheel out. There was nothing to handle. I didn't even know the wheel was gone because the car, it's a stiffly suspended car, and the way the weight is jacked on it, I felt boom like that. I thought it broke a spring, but I just kept going, driving it off easy. I didn't realize the wheel was gone because there was nothing dragging on the ground. But yeah, what the hell was that? I'll just drive it off easy. I wish I had the video for. Okay, Uncle Kathy shot it. We have video from that night, but it's from the other side of the car. So it's just like all you see is the tree turns green and the car goes, and I just drive down this track at like 10 miles an hour. So there's really nothing to see. You don't get to see it. I wish she was on the other side because I'd love to see her go. I missed it. Did I ever own a Ram truck? Yeah, I had a '69 Ford F-350 Ram truck. It was cool. That's how you used to hold the fuel altered. And then my partner, Bobby Lagana, he had a ramp truck also. And we rolled his funny car with that. And then later on, when we switched over to Top Fuel, we partnered up and went to Top Fuel. And we built an extension over the cab to carry the Top Fuel dragster on the ramp truck. The front wheels were over the windshield of the car, of the truck. There's pictures of that online. Google Bobby Lagana ramp truck, and you'll see the creation we came up with to put the fucking dragster on top of it. Tony, is Bottle Rocket a disc brake car or a drum brake car? It's currently discs, but I will be swapping over to drum. Tony, have you ever seen someone burn a valve from running open headers? It's a myth I've heard quite a lot. Yes, no, it's just a myth. Jared Hill, what's my opinion on Predator Kendig carburetors, the variable Venturi kind? I don't have any hands-on practical experience with them, so I don't really have an opinion. What I can tell you is if they were a superior way to go, right? In any way, right? If they were a superior way to go, they would have been adopted and they would be the standard thing that you find today. But they're obscure, and because they're obscure, you know that they don't work. You know what I'm saying? Can't tell you why, but I can tell you that, you know, I'm not tempted to fuck with one because there are so many great minds out there in so many different arenas. They have that choice and they don't go with it. You know what I mean? Why? It has to be a reason. So it's good enough for me. Does running a bigger fuel line help add power by serving the carb more fuel, or will the bowl only fill up so much? The bigger the line, the more fuel you can get to the carb as it's depleted. So yeah, John, you've never seen that before? Google Bobby Lagana drag truck. Yeah, that was us. That's how we went Top Fuel racing. Who am I going to get to drive Bottle Rocket since something is no longer with us? I'm going to drive it. I'm going to drive it. We're going to go to the Mopars versus Brand X event in March in Alabama. I'll drive it there. At some point, I'd like to just send it off with somebody else because I was never supposed to be driving the car. It was so I don't have to see here. Here's the thing you have to understand. This is a one-man show over here. So it's Uncle Kathy and I. So we've got 7 chickens, 4 dogs, a cat. We can't be away from home. For me to get away for any amount of time, it's like, forget about it. And I really don't want to be away. I spent years and years on the road, and I have no desire to go back out there and do it again. So with Bottle Rocket and now with this car, my intention was to get it together, have somebody else take it out and run the thing, and I stay at the shop and do my thing, and because this is where I want to be. So, but for the time being, yeah, I'm going to run the car. Stephen Moulton, why would I go to drum brakes? Because they're lighter and there's less drag. Switching from discs to 10-inch drums on the front of that car saves 40 pounds. What do I think of the Holley 1920 carburetor on the Slant 6? They're good carburetors. They're finicky with the idle circuit, but they're good carburetors. How many Mopars have I come across with the European dash VIN? Missing? No, never seen. I've never seen that. Can I talk about the broken leg and the Egyptian doctor? Yeah, but not in English. So, forget it. Austin, if I was closer to Sevierville, Knoxville, I would love to drive that far, but we all have dreams, right? I have a good friend, Troy Ray, out there. Actually, we're going to be going out there. I got to get a hold. I'm even going to talk about this video, but I have an interesting video that I want to do out there very soon. I don't feel like telling stories now. I'm just not in a story kind of mood right now. Chuck Fadley, sup, brother man? Favorite small block cam, 474 lift cam? Not really. What is better for frames, Rust-Oleum POR15 or Steel-It? I don't know what Steel-It is. POR15 is good, but it's expensive. I like Rust-Oleum because you can chip it and it can get all jacked up, and it's a quick sand and quick brush over it again. Really resilient paint. So and you can get it anywhere. You know what I mean? You know, you gotta jump something painted with POR15 or whatever, and it's like, oh, I gotta go order more POR15. You know, you do the same thing with Rust-Oleum. It's like when I go to Home Depot and get another a quart for $10. Mark Shaw, it's more than a rumor. Mark Shaw, happened last night at midnight. When is Buff coming back? He's doing. What did he say? Maybe he'll pop on here. He'll be working for this company in Maryland for another few weeks. I don't know exactly when he's coming back. I do miss him though. He's my sidekick. No stories. Come on, tell us about the time you dropped a piano down the throat of a Carter AFB. I dropped the piano out of the back of a box truck once. What are my thoughts on the Holley 2210? Mine make me want to open, put in me. That's a carb I'm not really familiar with. That's the latest. That's the one after the 1920. I never bothered with those. Buff in his bottle of pee. Yeah. Yeah, Buff's a little rough around the edges. I do miss him though. Buff grows on you, kind of like a fungus a little bit, but he does grow on you. I think John Wilburn is going to be here next week. Is it, John? Do I have any cars in my fleet that I absolutely can't get rid of? Yes, every single one of them. When I take a car into the fleet, I adopt it as a member of my family, and it's not for sale at any price. It's that simple. Chris, hey UTG, I'm in trouble. My father loves the stock Firebird original drivetrain, limiting my build ideas. Should I be looking for a more fun? Well, honestly, bro, if the Firebird is that original, you know what I'm saying? If it's got all of its original components and all, yeah, man, find something else to hot rod. Oh, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. I need to wear Duluth training in honor of Buff. How many cars? I currently have 15. I realize you're not a movie man, but would like the world's. I saw the world's fastest Indian. Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I think it was true to kind of true to the actual events. Hot Rod Junkyard Jewel 318 400 horsepower. Yeah, I've seen that. Do I have plans to try a 6-pack of no, Paul, no 6-pack of model rocket, but I'm probably going to put a 6-pack on my 73 Roadrunner later on this year because the car runs fine. It's good the way it is. I got to put brakes in it. Well, I got to find why it's got no pedal. I think it's just master cylinder. But the car's been parked for like a year and a half. I haven't moved it. But that car, I think I'm going to put a 6-pack on that. I think I'm going to put a 6-pack on that. Duster 72. If I had the reins to make, if you had the reins to make your own engine and any of the big three would foot the bill, what would it look like? Oh, damn, that's a good one. I never really thought about that, but it would probably look a lot like the ball stud Hemi. It would probably be very close to the ball stud Hemi. Mike Johnson, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Are Magnum heads higher compression than LA heads? Depends on the head. But the Magnum heads have two quench chambers. They have the standard one, which is kind of heart shaped, and they've got the small one on the other side of the chamber. So yeah, I think they're approximately, I don't know what the CC is exactly. I think they're approximately the same CC total as the 67 through 66. I keep saying 67 through 69, but it's actually 66 through 69. 273, 318 head. I think it's about the same CC. It's like give or take 3 CCs. Chris, if UTG, if I find you a 67 GTX Caddy, making your wife happy, would you straight up trade me the 73 Runner? No. The 73 Runner is a part of my family. No. Ask me if I give you one of my kids. Ask me if I give you one of my dogs. Ask me if I give you one of my cars. No. They're my cars. Why has your power brake pedal gone stiff, hard to push, power brake 74 Dart? The diaphragm is probably bad. What is the modern day muscle car missing, in my opinion? What is the modern day muscle car missing, in my opinion? Soul. They just don't have a soul. It's hard to explain. I can't really put my finger on it. Borg and Becker diaphragm, which application would one be better over the other? I prefer B&B every time. I've had too many issues with diaphragm clutches. Not only with them going away, but high RPM, they don't want to fucking release. You pull the clutch off, and you hit the clutch, and they just don't want to release fast. You come off the clutch, those fingers stay in before they come back out again. So if you want a good, sharp, high RPM shift, B&B always. What do we think of the 2020 Vet? It's a mechanical marvel. Duster 1972. If I had the one last ride, what car, whereabouts, and with who? One last ride? Geez, I don't know, man. My mind don't work like that. I don't know. How do I feel about C-bodies? I love them, and they are underappreciated. And those are the best deals out there right now. Google sucks. When people put modern engines in older cars, they lose their serial feel of what the car is, in my opinion. They do the same thing when they do the sound deadener, right? You see all these people, they're doing restorations on these cars, okay? or building them up, and they load them down with the sound deadener. They stick this fucking sound deadener everywhere, right? And yeah, like you lose that vibration that comes from that car. You know, like you're sucking out the harmonics, the vibration that, like, okay, I have 15 different cars. Okay, you can blindfold me and put me in any one of those fucking cars, and I know exactly which one it is based on the vibration, based on the feel of the car. Each one of them has its own unique feel, right? And you can have two of them. You can have two identical. You can have two like 1970 darts, let's just say, right? Both with the same engine, but they'll both feel different. They'll both have a different vibration to them. And when you and that's when you tune into the car, man. That's like, you know, you become like one with the fucking car. You're bonding with it, right? But when you load the thing down with a lot of sound energy like that, and you suppress those vibrations, that noise and whatnot, then you're taking the car's soul away. You know what I mean? The car is vibrating. It has a harmonic. It's talking to you on an ethereal level. You know, but you put all of that shit all over the fucking car, and you take those vibrations away, and you're like stifling the car's soul. Right? Does that make any sense, or am I just fucking babbling? What car would I love to be the master engineer on if Chrysler gave you the thumbs up to bring it back or revamp? You know what? 61 Imperial. You know, those older Imperials, man. It's fucking headlights. You know, I love those cars. Yeah, I would if I yeah, I'd like to take a crack at that thing. Okay. Years ago, I built a 68 383. I bored the block 70 over and used low compression 440 pistons. Yeah, that's a fairly common. That was a fairly common thing. They were 12 grams heavier, so you shorten the wrist pin. Yeah, that's the way to do it. If you road trip, you wear earplugs. Yeah. Well, I took my box truck up to DC this last Wednesday because I figured I wanted a place to stay in case I got tired. I could just crash in the back. So I took the box truck up there. That was a loud trip, man. That was a lot. I'm trying to listen to things on the phone, and it wasn't going to happen. But you know what? It doesn't bother me. Rich likes to have a lot of awesome designs before the heart attack. After that, he changed. A ride in your 80 Power Wagon would attack all my senses. Oh, I know. How much gas did the box truck use? A lot. I averaged about 11 miles to the gallon. So, you know, yeah, I use a lot of fucking gas. I need to work on the aero on that car. The biggest problem on that truck, the biggest problem is the box part, right? I need some sort of air deflector. I got to put something over, let's say, like the windshield, right? The leading edge of the roof, because as you're driving down the road, the roof is all go boom, 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 boom. There's all kinds of turbulence and shit because of the air backing up against that. So I was thinking about this on the way home. I got to do something about this. It's like really bad. So I got to build some sort of deflector to mount on the roof and kind of get the air to kick up over the front of the box. Did Uncle Kathy take the? No, she stayed home. Oh, sorry, the van has a 318. I think a 360 might be a better choice for it though. I think a 360 would definitely be a better choice for that truck. Any tips on Justin Bullock? Any tips on combining a 440 crank with a 400 to make a stroke beast of an engine? All time set of parts simply combined. Yep, they do. But I found hints of needing to modify either the block or skirts. Well, you can't use a stock piston, so don't worry about modifying skirts. You have to use an aftermarket piston for it. But stay tuned, brother man, because we actually have one on the stand here at the house that's going to get built later on this year. So if you're not in any rush, just hang on. And I'm going to go through all of the details and the hows and the whys of that combination, but just not yet. That's that engine that's sitting on the stand in the garage next to a Blue Roadrunner. It's empty right now. It's just the block, the heads, the intake that we're going to use. But I have the crank for it. I have the pistons. I have the rods. I have the cam. I have all of that. This is not time to assemble it. I don't like to assemble an engine until it's ready to go in a car. It's just one of those things. It's like this thing I have. It's like, don't put it together until it's ready to go in. So later on this year, we'll be putting that engine together. 77 360, keep stock manifolds or go with headers. Depends what you're doing with it. I don't know what you're doing with it. There were a lot of cars like I just wanted to keep stock manifolds because I was more concerned with like just the smoothness, you know what I mean, of the operation of the car. You know, didn't want to deal with it. You know, a driver that's got adequate power to, you don't have to boost power a little bit. So just depends what you're doing with it. What's the way it is to check for a 67 to 69 Mopar body? Is a radio delete car other than it has no antenna? Well, that's a pretty good, you know, if the antenna hole was never punched out on it, yeah, you can pretty much guarantee it. Radio delete. Actually, it wouldn't even be radio delete because radio was an option. Can I go in the garage so we can see what you're talking about? Bro, it's just an engine with a pair of Holley carburetors sitting in the garage. It doesn't, it's just an empty shell right now. Puglisi Speed Shop. Building my first Mopar in a long time, thinking of swapping the slant for, I'm sorry. Thinking of swapping the slant 6 in for an 86 D100 with a 3-speed for a 318. Is it worth it? It's an 86 D100. Yeah, probably. That's a bit much for the slant. It's a bit much for a slant. I would, you know. Thoughts on the electric muscle car? What should the big three avoid or implement? I think electric muscle cars are interesting. Very interesting. I'm not down on electric cars by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I've thought about doing like an electric thing for myself many times over the years. I just never got around to it, and I probably never will. But it's something I have thought about. So I think something simpler. They would lose me. The electric car thing loses me because it's like, for instance, like the Teslas. I know they run like fucking hell. I get it. But the car, it's an appliance. It really has no. I would want to see a very simple electric car that's as. I mean, when I say simple, I mean simple, right? Lightweight, no main features, just, you know, a muscle car, an electric muscle car that's just a bare car, you know. The minimum it would take to meet safety standards. That's what I would want to see. Then I would be interested. Like if Tesla had, let's just say, for example, and I'll throw a car out there. If Tesla had a version of the 68 Roadrunner, but as an electric car, and I don't mean looking like a 68 Roadrunner, I mean the concept of the 68 Roadrunner, you know, like a bare bench seat, just, you know, automatic on the column, and you know, and like no frills, right? If Tesla or one of the other manufacturers was to come up with a car like that, a performance electric car like that, I would definitely be interested in it. But they lose me with the big heads-up digital this and the display and this is all this and then this thing. You lose me with that because at that point it's not a car to me anymore. Puglisi Speed Shop. If I'm going 318, do I just say fuck it and go big block? No, man, build the LE motor. They're so much easier to work with. They're so much easier to find parts with. Very versatile motors. Yeah, the batteries are the bulk of the weight. It's not so much the weight, it's the complexity of it. You know, I don't want a car that I can't work on. I don't want a car that I have to, do you know what I'm saying? I don't want a car that somebody can turn this feature on or turn that feature off. I'm not going to own that, period. The end. I will walk before I own that. Got a 318 that you want to supercharge, go for it. Dyers has a small block Mopar blower manifold, 671 blower manifold, like in stock. Any major geometry issues with a 318, 390 stroker? None at all. The block eats the 4-inch crank like it's nothing. It's the simplest bolt together combination there is. Whether it's worth it or not, that's a different story. I don't know if it's worth it or not. I don't know if you're giving up some of those engines' geometrical, what's the word I'm looking for? High points, characteristics, personality, things that make the motor work, okay, for just the leverage of a longer stroke. So, yeah, it's a very easy swap to do. I mean, it's easier than dropping a 400 crank in a 350 Chevy, right? To build a 383, but the 4-inch stroker in the 318 is an absolute bolt-in. Baron, what's going on, brother man? Can you put Hemi heads on a 318? I cannot put Hemi heads on a 318, but there's a guy I know over here in Dixon, Tennessee, that actually does that. He has 3 bolt-on Hemi heads for a 318. Yeah, you are alive, Baron, and we're all very happy about that. 68 Roadrunner drive around video, maybe? Oh, maybe at some point, yeah. I'm not big on drive around videos. It's like, what are you getting from that? I did 318 heads. What are the piston differences? Could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure all 318 pistons run in at 130 thousandths down the hole. Earlier pistons have those valve notch reliefs, top and bottom, up till 70, but the height is the same. The piston height is the same. And I don't think they changed the piston height until all the way up to the Magnums. I look into that, but I'm pretty sure they all have the same piston height. I know that the police motors, different pistons. I think the ringlands are the same, but they use a Molle ring on those 318s. But I can't think of any other differences in the pistons. But I might not be thinking of all of them at the moment. You hate the idea of one man's treasures. You hate the idea of sitting on a bed of batteries in the Tesla. Yeah, seriously, tell me about it. Have you seen what happens when these things catch fire? Like, it's crazy. And they have fire departments now have these special protocols for when these cars catch fire. They have containment devices. They have a containment. They have like what they do is it's like a giant dumpster. And when one of those cars catches fire or is in a bad enough accident, they're supposed to put them in this dumpster and leave it there because these fucking things will burst into flames 2 days, 3 days, 4 days after the fucking accident. There's a lot of crazy stuff with that. You know, if I had an electric car, I would not be parking it in my garage ever. And yeah, you have an accident, you got to be really careful. Yeah, but when he was a little kid, they had electric buses which had poles, which went. Yeah, this is called pantograph. Like the trolleys had that. Reignited on YouTube has a video about Hemi Lifter. Check it out. I'm done with Hemi Lifters. That's it. I'm done with Hemi Lifters. Did everything I had to do with it. Move on. What's the upload schedule, and are you going to be uploading more anytime soon? Yeah, we try to do a video every day, every other day. Sometimes we go 3 days. It just depends. It's there's a lot occupying my head right now, not having to do specifically with cars at the moment. So nothing bad, you know what I mean. But my brain is occupied. I'm just being honest with you. So. I can't tell you exactly when the next video is going to be, but it'll be within the next couple of days. Baron, $5. Yo, your nuts were swollen the size of grapefruits because you had the coronavirus. I'm better now. That's awesome. Did you at least, like show them off to people? Not to me. I don't want to see your nuts. But I mean, if I had nuts the size swollen, a grapefruit size, bro, I mean, I'd be all over the internet with that. Tony, are you forgetting that the 440 mains need to be turned down to Friday? No. Almost cheaper to buy the Chinese crank and make the 451 up. No, go use a stock Chrysler crank. Turn it down. Paul, would I ever do a 408 stroker build out of my 360? Nah. Not that I have anything wrong against them, just I find no reason to do it. Tony, have I built a stroker poly? I have not. I've seen the ones that I can't think of the name of it now. I've seen the one that the guy built. It's at over 500 horsepower. But yeah, I'm not building one. Are you using the B or the RB rods? B rods. B rods. To use the RB rod in that combination really defeats the purpose of that combination. The shorter B rod with a longer 440 stroke gives a rod more angularity, torque. Angularity is torque, and that's why those engines work as well as they do. If you use the 440 crank with the RB rod, you're building yourself a 440. I mean, it just has a lower deck and an expensive piston, but you built a 440. You didn't build anything special. You built a 450 cubic inch 440. She likes playing with them. That's good. That's excellent. What's the difference in moly and steel rings? A moly ring has a molybdenum. I can never say that. Molybdenum moly surface hardening to the ring, where the steel ring is made out of stainless steel. That's the difference. The advantage, moly rings are good, but they're sensitive. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to hurt the molybdenum. I can't say it. Molybdenum. It doesn't take much to hurt the moly, but a stainless ring is pretty resilient. I've seen over the years. I've seen so many people. They'll buy a moly ring set and they'll hone it like it's cast rings, and the moly is gone. Like you just, the rings will seed in, right, after all, but no moly. That's gone the first like 5 revolutions of the engine. A moly ring has a very fine, the soul of the hone on a moly build is really important. A moly ring is idiot proof. No, the exact opposite. Yeah, Arthur. Yeah, if you're doing a hone job, right? Do not use moly rings. No. If you're doing a home ring job, just give up the fucking 1.5 horsepower and go with cast rings. Guys, I had a long day today. I covered a lot of ground. I'm gonna wrap it up in a few minutes. We've been on for a couple of hours now. Yeah, seriously, guys, if you're building an engine at home and you're honing the engine at home, you're doing all that shit at home, do not use moly rings. Hone it coarse, throw a cast ring in there, and send it. What smoke am I loading? Cigarette. Jake Williams, he bought a 73 Duster for $500 with only 75,000 miles on it. Very nice. Congratulations. What was this now? What type of oil should I use? Shell Rotella. Use Shell Rotella. Wayne Fungus. Why not moly? Because a moly ring takes a very fine surface home. It has to be a good, even home. And the cylinder walls have to be dead nuts, right? For the things for the moly, because the moly is just a flash coating on the outside of the fucking ring. You take it right off. So if you're honing typical like hone job at home, right? It's not going to be a perfectly accurate crosshatch. It's not going to be an exactly perfect fucking cylinder. It's going to be those minor, those microscopic issues, right? They don't really show up in the way the engine runs, but they will show up in the way the engine breaks in. And a cast ring, the soft cast ring, and the rough cylinder wall finish create a seal that'll actually like work even with an imperfect cylinder. See, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Okay. If you're building engines at home, okay, there's 2 different types of engine build, right? It's very important to make the distinction of. You get 2 different types of engine build. You have what we consider to be a pro engine build. So this is where the thing is bored. It's bored with deck plates. It's honed. It's with the correct stone, the correct speed, the correct tension, right? For the ring that's going to be used on it, okay? And then there's the home rebuild. And the home rebuild is where you take your fucking hone and you go, right? And you're creating, you're not making a perfectly round deal. It's not going to be completely uniform top to bottom. It's going to be along the rough side. So for that purpose, you use a cast ring. Because the first couple of seconds that engine is running, the first minute that the engine is running, that cast ring is carving its personality into the cylinder walls and pretty much making up for all of your not perfections. So the rough cylinder bore and the soft cast ring find a home with each other in about a minute or so it takes, and then from that point they'll seat. Right. So if you're building your stuff at home, right? Forget about if you're doing a home rebuild, no moly rings, no stainless rings, nothing like that. Use a cast ring, and you can't go wrong. Why does my RGB 250 run like a beauty just before seizing up? That's the thing people say. They always run best right before they explode or they fucking lock up. If I replace the head gasket on a slant, do I need to deck the block or shave the head? You know, the slants are prone to the head. It's prone to a lot of warpage to it. You don't have to go crazy. Just take a block, right, like a wooden block, 2x4. Wrap it in emery cloth. Use a coarse emery cloth and run it back and forth on the head. When you've got a good cut there, see if you're low spots, then go to a finer emery, wrap that around the block, back and forth, and just keep going until you don't see any low spots. And that's it. You're done. You could do the same thing to the block, but I don't recommend it, only because as you're sanding, all of that grit is going down into it's going to get in the tappet chamber. It's going to, fall down along around the pistons and get in the rings and all that. So I wouldn't do it to the block, but do it to the head, definitely. You could surface that head yourself at home. Cast rings much better than chromoly rings. No, chromoly rings are better rings. Cast rings are more forgiving. And when you're building stuff out of your house and using hand tools to do this work, the cast ring will make up for your mistakes. Does that make any sense? I think we froze up. Did we freeze up? I froze up. Which is cool because I wanted to get out of here now anyway. I can't talk anymore. Oh, are we moving? Can you guys? Oh, there we go. All right. So listen, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. John, Ari, Fubar, Zero, thank you guys so much. Everybody who contributed through Super Chat, you have no idea how much I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's what keeps the wheels turning here and keeps everything moving forward. We'll be on Wednesday night with Dallas. We're going to do the Rochester carburetor, and then we're going to do the Rochester compared to the thermal quad, side by side. So if you're working with factory carburetors, you're interested in those factory carburetors and how to work with them, their shortcomings and so on and so forth, you'll want to pop in on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Central Time. So that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much. We love you. You have no idea. Thank you. And see you tomorrow.